Hi, everybody. Thank you to the AIM team, Happy Lama, to have me here. I'm not talking about anything serious today. I lead technology and product and one of the co-founders of Kogo, but I don't want to talk tech today. I want to talk about something very, very simple, something that a lot of us do all the time. That's thinking. Some of us, and all of us, in most cases, do thinking without even wanting to think. The brain's always working. It doesn't stop, right? But have you ever asked yourself one very simple question? Is thinking possible without memory? If you don't know about something, can you think about it? Right? Very difficult. Because you need context. You need context. You need some kind of idea what you are thinking about, right? And this essence, this thing, we keep talking about it internally because AI is so philosophically related to us because there is talk that AI will replace us, complement us, it'll help us boost productivity. There's so many conversations going on. And the moment you start talking about serious issues like thinking, the first time I used DeepSeek, the moment it came out, this is just a few months back, they revealed something very interesting, which a lot of the foundational models were not doing, which is the thinking process. It's called chain of thought traditionally, but now it's baked into the model. They revealed to the world how the model is thinking, and then suddenly everyone followed. And now you can see the steps that the models are doing and what they are thinking, right? And that's what I'm here to talk about. I have about 18 minutes. I'd love to take some questions, clear up some doubts if any of you have, so I'll leave 5 minutes for that. Well, repetition precedes you. I love to be on the road because that's the only time I get to stop thinking. And when I stop thinking is when I can really solve problems that are essential to solve because I believe there needs to be some kind of vacuum where new ideas come in. You don't create that vacuum, kind of get stuck in a loop. You might have seen ChatGPT or any of these processes get stuck into loops, can't get out of, right? Now, what do we do? Kogo is a full stack agentic AI builder for enterprise. It's an on-prem platform as a service. It's horizontal, which means any enterprise can build, deploy, and manage any kind of agent or multi-agent systems inside their own private cloud, which means the agent, the model, the resultant data, all of that sits with the enterprise, which means they get to own what they build with AI, right? And we believe that the future is private. AI will be private. As it gets more intelligent, more dangerous, your data will become your asset. And if you're running a company and you're sending your data to OpenAI to train their models or to Gemini, that will not happen for too long, right? So we are placing our bet on private AI. We're already working on more than 150 projects with 65 companies globally, and this is just in the last 8 months. And it's taught us a lot. It's taught us a lot. One big thing it's taught us is people still don't know what an agent is, right? The definition's not very clear. It's not yet in Oxford dictionary. So let's see. Let me try and answer that today, and maybe I can kind of put a perspective on what an AI agent is, right? Traditional generative AI, basically, you ask a question, you get an answer, right? We use ChatGPT every day, but now if you're a pro user or on ChatGPT, you also have these thinking models that think before they answer. Sometimes they might use some tools like searching. So it's a very simple example of an agent, right? Over the last few months, you would have also noticed that they've added memory to it, which is essential part of being an agent, right? It remembers your context. So it's not yet personalizing it for you. It's waiting for you to prompt it. It's not taking decisions on its own. But that's what agentic AI essentially means. So for a technical use case, when I solve an insurance claim, right? Currently, humans are there using multiple systems. Data travels from one system to another system. There are some decisions that are taken. There's some process that happens on the data. And that's how you get a result, right? The result is a decision that is taken. AI basically is going to shadow these processes and use these systems across the board, and that's what agents will be built for. This might not be very clear But I will clarify what this means. There are 5 levels. This is not something I made. I got it from Medium, from an article. There are 5 levels of agents, right? The one at the bottom is a chatbot that you might be using or people would be building on WhatsApp or anywhere, which are essentially rule-based systems. You define the rules, you tell it, this, do this, if not, then do that. It kind of looks like a tree, a very complex tree. If any problem comes outside of that tree, it fails, doesn't work, right? The one on the top, right, the ultimate, which is probably AGI level agent, what's the difference between that? The journey between the rule-based agent and that agent is, it has memory, it has context, it has the ability to take decisions, it has the ability to personalize based on that memory, it has tools that it can use to solve problems, and it has the ability to think and plan. That's what's written on the top left there, right? Which means it's a completely autonomous system that uses all of this. Now, you will see very, very quickly that that stage will first come in robotics. The humanoid robots will be the agents that use the physical world and all of those features to solve really complex problems. Because the environment, the 3D environment, is far more difficult than a 2D environment of data, right? So that's where those kind of AGI level breakthroughs will happen, right? But what is it that we have done so far, right? What exactly is a thinking agent? Let's break it down a little more, right? It has a brain, which is the model, which is the language model. The language model is getting better day by day, smaller, faster, more intelligent. And then the agent. The agent basically uses his brain and takes some action. That's it. Uses the brain, takes some action. Basically what we do. We want to travel. I had to come here. So I had to book an Uber, at what time, how long will it take to get here, then when I'm here, what do I do? We're constantly planning and taking action, right? That's what we do. So when you asked ChatGPT a few months back, it would give you from its knowledge base an answer. A little later, it had the ability to go on the internet. So it had a tool, right? It could use that tool. Now, the number of tools is increased. It has multiple tools that it can use. Now it also has memory. It remembers what you asked before. It's a continuation of a conversation, right? So that's how things are evolving in the world. But what does it take to really build something like this? So I know there are a lot of startups here. We are building thinking agents. In fact, we are launching the first one, second week of May. We've already got a lot of different types of independent agents that are working and getting deployed in enterprise. I want to share with you, and I want to be available to anybody who wants to come and talk more in detail about technically how to go about building them, right? So I went to, I had a very complex chart, right, with arrows going all over the place. So I said, no, this is the Ghibli image generation world we live in. Let me change this and make it completely simple, no tech jargon. So I created some images to kind of make a cookbook of building a thinking agent, right? Now, what is it that is needed? What are the ingredients, the masalas that are needed to build a thinking agent? You need a planner. You need an agent that can plan. So I give it a task or a goal or even a wish, right? It should be able to make a plan. This plan gets stored and goes to a verifier. The verifier's job is to take every step of the plan and send it to an execution agent. The execution agent has a lot of tools that it can use to execute these plans. These could be APIs, data, RAG pipelines, documents, systems, internet search, browsing, whatever, writing code, it doesn't matter, right? The number of tools has just exploded. You all know about MCP. There are about 2,000 tools that are available out of the box to anybody who wants to build an agent today. And you will see a plethora of agents coming out, mushrooming everywhere. Everybody will be building their own agents. Once it uses all of this, it needs to maintain some short-term memory to know where it is in the cycle of solving that problem or the wish or the goal that I've given it. Right? Has it started? Is it in the middle? Is it in the end? Where is it? Right? So short-term memory helps kind of give cognitive balance to the agent of where it is reached in the journey. And then, of course, it needs long-term memory. So you don't want it to go and figure out the same route from your office to work every day. You know that route. It's in your long-term memory. You take the same route every day. Now, when people talk about autonomous agents, one thing that they miss is the self-learning in the autonomous agents, right? Everyone says, oh, is your agent autonomous? And I usually tell them, nobody wants autonomous agents, right? People want to travel where the roads exist. We don't live in a desert where there no roads exist, right? That we have to find our path, right? So autonomous agents will need long-term memory to know what is it that they've already solved properly, so they don't go out and do the same level of compute again to solve the same problem. Now, like I said, what happens? Step one, I mean, by the way, I loved when it generated all of this. I just said I need a cartoon, and it's incredible. So it thought before it built. This is a very small example of a thinking agent, right? When it generated all these images. So first you plan, you create a to-do list. Same way all of us do it. You create a to-do list. An agent, you tell it, make a to-do list. The verifier takes every step in the to-do list that is incomplete and sends it to the executor. The executor is sitting with some tools, saying, I have these tools. These tools initially are passed on to the planner, so the planner knows that when I'm solving a problem, let's say booking a ticket, checking weather or news, I want to plan a trip to Kashmir right now, the situation is volatile. It has internet search, weather, and a ticket booking agent. So these are the three tools it has, right? So the executor tells the planner, you have these three tools to solve this problem, go ahead and solve it. Generates a to-do list, sends it to the verifier sends it to the executor sends it to the updater. The updater goes back to the planner to redo the list, to redo the to-do list if it gets stuck somewhere. Now, this is how the autonomous thinking agent will change its process of thought, which it has to. If it has to find its own way and it gets stuck somewhere in the maze, it has to learn, right? So it uses its short-term memory to update the planner if it gets stuck on a step. But if it successfully completes a step, it goes to the executor and then picks the next step to execute, right? As simple as that, really. There is no complexity. Anybody with this very basic understanding of 4 agents can build a small multi-step, multi-agent system with basic handover, and you can have a thinking agent off the ground. This is what I said, right? So you have a planner, makes a to-do list, the verifier executes the steps, sends it to the updater, the executor puts it in the short-term memory, and if it's not done in the long-term memory, right? So very, very straightforward. Now, what is it that is needed other than the basics of solving and building thinking agents, right? So what we did is we classified agents into seven separate categories, right? And this has come from a lot of understanding of the world and talking to a lot of enterprise, that if you're able to kind of build one agent or tools around these, the mixture of these, you can create many recipes. You can create unlimited number of very, very useful agents, right? So you need to automate workflows. So you need something that can build a workflow, right? This is multi-step stuff. A document comes, you extract some data from the document, you parse that data, you use that data, you take a decision based on certain rules, and you have an end goal in place. So you need workflow automation tools to add to a thinking agent. You need research. You need to be able to do research. Data that companies don't have. They want to go out and do research. Data set that's sitting on the internet. Leads, people, updates, news, whatever is sitting. So you need research agents. You also need data analysis agents, agents that can talk and understand data. Once you build these pipelines, putting them together into the previous workflow that I said, right, as tools, right, will tell you that you can build any kind of agent to solve any kind of problem, and this will solve 99% of the problems in the world out of the box, right? And then you have some vertical agents or agents that can generate videos, copy, music, agents that can generate code, agents that can converse converse in voice, or chat with people, right? So this is kind of like the foundation. But when you put all of this together, is really when you have magic happening. Okay, now this is future gazing, right? But the future is very near. The future is just 1 year away. And this is what we are excited about, what we are really building at Kogo, right? We today live in a task-based world. We are given a task, we choose a certain set of steps, and we solve the task. Above the task is a goal. To solve a goal, you need multiple tasks with multiple steps, and you solve a goal. What is beyond a goal? Beyond a goal is a wish. I wish to start a new company that trades in futures or commodities, right? That's the wish you should be able to give to an AI engine that first sets the goals. One goal would be you need a marketing department. One goal would be you need an interface, you need a software. Another goal would be you need an accounting department. Inside every goal, you'll have tasks. Inside every task, you'll have steps. You should ideally be able to build and launch an autonomous organization from a single prompt. That's what we are working on, right? So to be an entrepreneur, you want to sell pickles on Amazon. You need to open an Amazon account, you need a GST certificate, you need 50 things, right? People don't have access to this, right? You need experts. But I only know Marathi, I don't even know English. You should be able to talk to a system in Marathi and then let it execute all of this and build all of this for you, right? It all starts from a basic unit called the thinking agent, the agent that can think and plan. That's the smallest possible unit here, right, that we are building. And that's exactly what I put here. You know, you have a wish, it should be able to list down the goals, should be able to list down the tasks for the goals, list down the steps, use the tools, and build that recipe for you, right? That's where we are at. The last slide is about just how the industry is moving, really. We are somewhere here right now. Lots of pilot projects going into production. Enterprise systems are not ready for agentic AI today. They don't talk to each other, right? So one person owns the infra, another person owns the CRM solution, another department owns something else. Now, agentic AI can work across these, but there are walls. The walls are built by traditional software, SaaS platforms, right? AI will break those walls. So that's happening right now. Very soon you'll see multi-agent systems. We already have some that can execute tasks with a higher accuracy than a human in the loop. Already happening. We have many examples of already deployed stuff. And then you'll have cross-domain agents. Google just launched the A2A framework, agent-to-agent transfer framework. It's a protocol that two agents can talk to each other securely. This will start happening very soon, where a legal agent will talk to a marketing agent or a sales agent and do a negotiation on a contract, right? And then you'll have inter-enterprise and intra-enterprise agents, what I talked about, right? Like from a goal to a task to actually building and managing multiple companies, multiple departments from a single dashboard, single agentic flow. So that's where we are at. That's what keeps us exciting. In fact, I'm going on a motorcycle trip tomorrow to clear my head and kind of put all of this in place because we are launching second week of May and I need to put some critical aspects, solve some problems. Thank you so much for having me here, listening to me. If you have any questions, I just have 1 minute, but I'm happy to take some questions.